So Craig, how's the team coming along heading towards this Cronulla game?
Oh, again, we've had a pretty good week. We've had a 7-day turnaround, so that's always good to have a little bit more thorough preparation, I suppose. So the boys have been pretty good. Obviously went to Wagga last week, which was it was a good experience to go out in the bush and just see how much the people in the bush appreciate a game of footy, and so that was a nice experience, and but they've come back pretty well. Obviously the Sharks are flying high at the moment, and we'll need to play really well if we're going to be a chance.
You've had to face off against some favourite sons over the years, like Hoffy and a few others, but are you going to be all right watching Dale in a Sharks jumper?
Yeah.
We know he's fit here before he left.
Yeah, obviously, he's done a leap for our club, Dale, while he was here. So he's a little bit different. So, I wouldn't say it's tough, but it's it's just different, I suppose, when they've been playing with you for so long. But having said that, like Nico made a pretty big impression while he was here too. So there's two of them, so that makes it a little bit harder. But when kick-off comes, we'll just be concerned what we're doing, and then hopefully catch up after the game.
Harry Grant was concerned during the week. He thought that you would be hurting a bit watching Dale in another jumper.
I've obviously been watching them. I've obviously watched a lot of them this week, getting prepared for the game, and it's not easy, but life moves on.
What have you made of Nico's transition to halfback?
I think that was probably always going to be his best position, to be quite honest. He's a very talented player, obviously, and looks like he sort of basically has got main control of their attack down there, and he's obviously doing a great job at the moment.
So I guess the fact was that you had Jerome, otherwise you would have given him a run there more yourself?
Yeah, I think we played him a couple of games in the halves, but it wasn't a lot, I don't think. But like with Munster and Hughesy around, it was always tough to fit him into that position. It was only sort of when Paps was injured. But like I say, we all know what a talented player he is, and he's really shown that now.
The Sharks, obviously, he's orchestrating their attack, and that's good, but their defence has been pretty miserly. They haven't conceded a lot of points. So.
No, I think they've only had the one try scored against them in the last two games or whatever, and I think that was only an intercept right in the last minute, last week. So they're obviously doing a lot of things well, with the footy and without the footy. So they're a much improved side, and you can just tell by some of the players that were there last year how much more consistent they are at doing the good things right. So that's the one thing I've noticed with them.
Yeah. Do you recognise any of your players out there, like with Nico? Is he got any storm play that you guys have come up with that he's using?
No, not a lot, I don't think. I think they obviously come up with some plays. Obviously, I suppose there's most clubs that will run one or two plays all the same. It's you got the people run. That's the important thing. So obviously, they're tailored their attack to what they've got, in where their strengths are with the other players. But as I said, they're doing a great job of it, and obviously Nico's he's heading up the orchestra. So and as I said, he's doing a great job.
You're looking forward to seeing Talakai and Justin Owen go head to head, those two.
Yeah, it's that'll be an interesting confrontation. The only issue is they probably won't go head to head. So unless we move them or Fitzy moves Talakai, but we're not moving Remus or Justin, so they won't come together too often, I don't think.
You sure you couldn't give them 10 minutes against each other at some point, though?
I think Justin will have his hands full with Ramian, and obviously Remus will have his hands full with Talakai, so they're just concentrating on that, I'd imagine.
So Will Warbrick out there, is he? I mean, it's hard because you've got some great wingers out there, but he looks like a pretty handy unit.
Yeah, obviously he's come from a whole heap of different game. He's come from Rugby Union Sevens, which is it's a way different game. So he's just looking to pick up the the finer points of the game. You know, he's a great kid. He works really hard and does a lot of video, asks a lot of questions, and so I don't think it'll be too long before we see him in first grade. He's very athletic. He's big and strong, and he's got good pace as well. So hopefully, just trying to fast track his education at the moment, and it shouldn't be too long before we've seen him somewhere in our 17.
What's been the big areas you've got to help someone with when they've been out of sevens? Just defensive spacing and all that sort of stuff?
Oh, well, they just do a whole heap of things different. Like, for what I've seen with Will, the defence has been the big part. Obviously they've got 7 players to cover the whole field. We've got 13, so it's there's a whole, the systems, the patterns, the mentality's different. Committing yourself to tackles. We like to commit to tackles. Like in sevens, sometimes they don't want you to commit to tackles. So so it's a whole heap different. As I said, system and your patterns of defence, but it's also a bit of the individual mentality as well.
What's your read on the side at the moment overall, how they're playing? You've got some wins, but it seems like there's been a few patches where you probably want to see a bit more and things like that.
Oh, yeah, I think patches or patchy has probably been a good way to describe how we've been going. We've been really good in most parts of the game, but we've been just inconsistent in other parts of the game, and probably just lacking a little bit of when we get the upper hand, really putting the foot on the throat, and by sticking to what we've been doing instead of looking for other ways to do things. So that's what we're sort of concentrating at the moment. But it's a great sign in that, as I said, I don't think we've been real consistent for 80 minutes, but we've still come up with some wins. So I think there's still some improvement in us, without a doubt. But that's got to come through the individual. Before the team improves, the individual's got to improve, and that's what we're working on at the moment.